Hello, this is Fear Dragon, and welcome to Breaking Out, the show about North American StarCraft 2 players. Here on this show, we spend 1 week highlighting an up-and-coming North American player. Throughout the week, we find out more about the player's history, their personality, and their playstyle over the course of 6 short episodes. On Monday, we'll interview the player and find out more about them. Tuesday through Thursday, we'll watch a game from each of the various matchups casted by your very own Fear Dragon. On Friday, we'll check out a generally awesome game with some sick play, and on Saturday, we'll kick it back with the player and have some wacky fun with some randomly selected events like handicap ladder matches, karaoke, and dance contests. Each episode aims to be about 20 to 30 minutes long, so you can learn more about the North American StarCraft 2 scene without interrupting your busy WCS schedule. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, this is Fear Dragon, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Out. Today we have our Protoss vs. Terran of the week with Root Seeds' Arium, so let's go ahead and jump in and introduce the players officially as we get started. Up here in the top side of Polar Knight, we have the red Protoss player representing Team Root Gaming and Root Seed. It is Root Gaming's Arium, a very young 14-year-old Protoss player who is really a big up-and-comer right now. Root Gaming has seen a lot of potential in this kid, so we're going to have to wait and see what he has planned for this Protoss versus Terran. I'm pretty excited to see what he has planned. And his opponent spine down here on the bottom side as the blue Terran player representing, it looks like no team as of right now. It is going to be the Grandmaster level player, Stomach Hurts. And Arium seems to just be hitting a lot of crazy names this week. We had Snake Hips, we have Stomach Hurts. I can't wait to find out who else he's been playing with crazy names. But Stomach Hurts, again, a Grandmaster level Terran player, going to be a very strong player in this Protoss versus Terran. So we'll have to wait and see what Stomach Hurts has planned for this game as well. In the meanwhile, it looks like pretty standard builds coming out of both these players. We have the in-base gateway, the in-base barracks. That means no proxy shenanigans going on. And looks like Arium trying to figure out who exactly Stomach Hurts actually is. Sounds like it might potentially be a Smurf, but who knows? I'm sure somebody knows, so you can go ahead and look it up online. Hop onto Team Liquid, start searching for Stomach Hurts. I'm sure that you won't find any kind of weight loss guides or anything on that, because actually, I take that back. Team Liquid has a pretty huge variety of different things you can find on there. But with that being said, I'm really curious, again, if Arium is going to be going for a similar style that he actually mentioned in his interview that he likes to go for in Protoss vs. Terran, where basically he said he likes to go for DT drops, sit on kind of 2 base, and see how much damage he does, and after that he techs up straight into Colossus and goes for a 2 base Colossus push. And depending on what situation, how well your opponent actually is able to defend that, you either just take a very safe third behind those Colossus, probably one over here. I actually would really like to see a Protoss player take this third expansion rather than this third expansion, because this one obviously has destructible rocks, which is annoying. But also, if you take this third expansion, I mean, as long as you defend this expansion from drops, maybe get some photon cannons back here. You defend your main base from drops, you get some photon cannons over here, and then you get your your army position right in between. This expansion is going to be secure because you have this along the minimap in a giant line of defense against any kind of pushes or drops. So you automatically have a secure 4th expansion. It's a no worry situation. So I'd love to see something like that from Arium. But in the meanwhile, we'll have to see if he actually even gets the opportunity to tech up to 3 bases, because right now it looks like Stomach Hurts is going for that pretty fast 1 Rax expansion, adding on those 2 barracks. Again, pretty standard play, but I have to say the unstandard part about this is that he didn't go for any kind of early reactors. He's not going to be getting any kind of Reapers out. He's not going to be doing any of that kind of harassment. This is a very Wings of Liberty-esque build right now so far for the Terran player. And it looks like Stomach Hurts, not sure what region he's from, not sure, could be from Korea, maybe from EU. Still just trying to figure that out. So maybe once Stomach Hurts actually gets an iPhone or an Android or something, you know, maybe one of those good old Windows phones that are out now, he'll be able to use the GPS and locate where exactly he is. But we do have Robotics Facility and Twilight Council tech both coming out from Arium, so this is a very fast tech up from Arium. I'm kind of hesitant to say like whether this is going to work out. I mean, I feel like Arium might be a little bit vulnerable to some big pushouts, but we do end up seeing that Dark Shrine coming out as well. So this is looking like it is going to be one of those DT drops. And I mean, with Arium and not having actually scouted out his opponent yet, this is going to be very, very dangerous right now. Just now going to be sending out that probe. So I'm really, really curious if he can actually defend against any pushes. But, you know, you do have to remember, with the Mothership Core now in Heart of the Swarm, Protoss players have been able to play much more greedy than they used to. And, you know, little move outs like this from Stomach Hurts going to be much less effective because, yeah, what's Stomach Hurts going to do? Move out with all of his Marines. Let's say he gets over to the natural expansion. Maybe he kills a couple of these probes, but the Photon Overcharge is going to make it so difficult for any real substantial damage to be done. And of course, with the Dark Shrine out, what's he gonna have to do? He's gonna have to scan for every single one of those DTs that would start wailing away, probably one-shotting these Marines that don't have combat shields or anything left. Yeah, that's not gonna be the most ideal situation for Stomach Hurts. So he's gonna probably do a little bit of a poke up, but immediately probably going to be pushed all the way back home. But oh, look at this. Stomach Hurts has a greatly positioned Marine over here at the Zelnaga Watchtower. Gonna scout out that War Prism coming in. So I'd love to see Stomach Hurts actually position his Marines over in the main base, and it looks like he's gonna do exactly that. We'll have to see, can Arium still do some damage? He's warping in 1 DT, 2 DTs are gonna be coming in. And right now, it looks like they're going to be able to get in without too much of a hitch. And they're going to start wailing away at these Marines. One of these DTs is going to get scanned and taken out. But the second one is actually going to... Oh, actually, it's still in range of that scan. A great surround from Stomach Hurts, actually. Does manage to get that while in range of the scan. So that DT is not able to get out. And now we have the missile turrets up both over the natural expansion. And now the one in the main base is going to be completing up at the same time. So the War Prism not really able to do a whole lot of damage. But you have to remember that Arium, by using the DTs and the War Prism, he is keeping his opponent at his home. There's absolutely no way that Stomach Hurts can actually move out. At least not until he gets Medivacs up. And can actually maybe move out with drops of his own. He has to be sure that he can stay at home and defend against these DTs. And I like that control from Arium, keeping that DT alive. And we're just forcing out scans. So even doing a little bit economic damage, even though he's not killing off SCVs, he's forcing out scans, which likely the Terran player wants to be additional mules. So we'll have to see what can Arium do with this time that he's buying right now. He's definitely being as greedy as possible behind it, which I really, really like from him. He's getting up that Forge. He's going to be getting up a Colossus as well, and just adding on a couple of gateways. You do not want to just be staying on 2 gateways for too long in this game. And just, of course, adding on those pounds, making sure he does not get supply blocked. And it looks like he's doing just fine in all that respect right now. But in the meanwhile, we take a look at where Stomach Hurts is sitting right now. He's getting the +1 weapons actually researched. And it looks like Arium has not exactly begun any of those weapons or armor upgrades. I'd really like to see him get some armor upgrades as soon as he actually gets the potential to. And yeah, we do end up seeing a weapons upgrade, which actually, you know, I'm okay with weapons upgrade as well, just because he's going to be getting out Colossus. He wants to do extra damage to the Colossus. And look at this, Arium being as annoying as possible still with those ZTs, controlling the Zelnaga Watchtower, and just wailing away, forcing out more scans. Now, you have to remember, it's not just economic damage, but he's also forcing the Terran player to save up these scans for this big push out over here. Now, the push out's happening over here. There's 2 Medivacs in this push, so just a 1 Colossus and the Photon Overcharge is not going to be enough. Nice time work goes down, and you can see how effective that Colossus is being right now, doing massive splash damage over to that army right now. Even though the +1 weapons is not finished up for Arium, those Marines just cannot stand up to the Colossus. They have to be so careful, especially with the time warp that went down. It was impossible for those units to actually back up. He had to load up into the Medivacs, and now he's going to be chased out. So Arium getting a very successful hold over there and getting up a Photon Cannon just to deal with the fact that his Colossus are going to be slightly immobile. He doesn't have a lot of units, so he can't really afford to split himself up. He needs to get up something like a Photon Cannon over in the main base to make sure he can defend on multiple fronts. I really like that decision making from Arium. So pretty solid play coming out of both of these players. Both of them doing a great job with that drop defense. But now we end up seeing second starport going to be coming out from the Terran player. He's going to be looking to pump out a lot of those Vikings. He's going to actually already start that Viking production 2 at a time right now. And you have to remember that these Medivacs have managed to stay alive. They're going to be coming back in over here. The Photon Cannon not quite covering this angle over here. So he's going to be able to get a couple of kills at least. And now he's going to be able to potentially target fire down that Photon Cannon. No, not even going to try and engage it. just going to be sniping off as many probes as possible. And honestly, he's done a fantastic job with that. Already killing off 12 of those workers right now, and you can see over here the mothership core doesn't exactly have enough energy for a photon overcharge. Now you're going to see the 3 Colossus forced to move back over here. Those Colossus have to be a little bit careful, but Blink is actually finished up, and now it looks like those medevacs almost going to fall. One of the medevacs does manage to stay alive with 2 health points left over. It looks like it's running on half of an engine and a dead co-pilot that's barely conscious. It's definitely on autopilot right now, but he's going to be able to get away, and you have to remember he can repair up that medevac, and he's going to need every single medevac he can get, because it looks like Arium is starting that push out across the map. Now there are a decent number of gateways out as well. You have to remember about 7 gateways. That's going to mean that Arium, with that Warp Prism that I believe he's still kept alive over here, it's actually sitting, where is it? Where is that Warp Prism sitting? Is it still... Oh man, I can't even find it right now. But regardless, it's alive, so he can use that. Oh, here it is. He can use that to actually help in. He doesn't have to wait and set up proxy pylons. He can just go straight in over here. And now we end up seeing a lot of those Marauders, a lot of those SCVs forced to try and get in front of those bunkers, soak up some of that damage, but those Colossus are ripping them to shreds. The Vikings target firing down that mothership core, and that's going to mean that there's going to be no time warps available for this push out. No recalls available either, but the Blink Stalkers picking off those Vikings. A lot of the Colossus still alive, and these Vikings are losing their lives a little bit too early, honestly, right now. And Stomachurts is looking to be in a very, very poor situation. It looks like the work count has finally evened up, and it looks like before that Arium was very, very far down in the worker count. So if Arium still has opportunity to do some more damage, he can do as much damage as possible and maybe take a big lead in this game right now. He's already up 7 workers by this point, just because all these SCVs are forced to pull off and repair these bunkers, and I'm not sure Stomachurts can actually hold this right now. The last bunker is going to be falling. The Marines going to be falling in it as well, and there's only a single Viking out to deal with these 2 remaining Colossus. A lot of Blink Stalkers still left over, +1 versus +0/+0 on the Vikings, and a +1/+1 on the Marines and Marauders. That's the big advantage for the Terran player, and it looks like, amazingly enough, the Colossus do end up falling. The Warp Prism also ends up going down, but some nice Blink micro actually coming out from Arium, and now he's able to blink on top of the Marauders and the Vikings of Stomachurts. Has Stomachurts been broken? Has Arium actually finally done it? There's only medevacs left over, and GG gets called. Stomachurts gives the game over to Root Arium, who actually takes it with some fantastic Blink micro and just constant Colossus production. So Arium just doing a great job hitting that timing in that game and doing a great job with the drop defense. He lost a lot of workers to that drop earlier on. You can see 12 workers killed, but I mean, Arium knew what he had to do. He pushed out with those 3 Colossus, and it looks like by being able to snipe off those 2 medevacs full of units, I mean, yeah, 1 medevac and a Marauder got away from it, but honestly, losing a medevac in about 3/4 meant a lot for how much damage Arium could actually do. And yeah, you see all the Colossus end up getting picked off, and there's only a handful of Stalkers actually left over, so you can imagine in a different situation, maybe Stomachurts is able to just barely hold on or something if he's able to just keep those medevacs alive. So Arium doing a great job with that drop defense and able to hit that timing and push out and finish off his opponent. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of Breaking Out. We're going to be doing another episode of Breaking Out tomorrow on Twitch over at twitch.tv/FearDragon64. It's going to be the Wednesday cast, and it's going to be the final matchup. It's going to be a PvP with Arium. Arium saying that PvP is most comfortable matchup right now, I believe. So I'm really excited to see what he's planning to do in that. He feels like right now he could basically try almost anything in that matchup and figure out how to make it work. So I'm pretty excited to see what he's going to be trying out in that PvP tomorrow. And of course, if you miss it, you can catch the VODs over at youtube.com/FearDragon64. But anyways, be sure to follow Arium as well as Root Gaming and Seed Academy over on the Twitter. That's either linked to the chat or below the video in the little notes below, depending on whether you're watching us on Twitch or YouTube. And of course, please be sure to give me a follow so that you'll get notifications about Breaking Out and any other kind of casting stuff that I'm doing, including the UASL. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and have a wonderful day. I hope to see you all tomorrow.